Okay, we're going to try and break down some of these power strikes, waveform strikes, call them what you will. 20 plus years ago, Peter Costadine hit me with his throws a hit and boof, and I go flying. So that was my first encounter of one of these power strikes. I'm going to be back like that. So we've been playing with them ever since, very effective. Can be a little bit too big to use in a fight, practical wise, but I'm looking at reducing them down, reverse engineering them, finding out what does what, so we can do it more practical and we can defend against it. So the principle I'm going to use is, for instance, my background's electronics, so if we've got a magnetic field, we take a conductor, we move it through the magnetic field, we generate electricity. So the field, I'm going to use the hara, the chi belly. So we've got energy around this area. So that's the medium. We're going to be moving stuff in that medium and generating the water element, which will run the bladder and kidney meridians, which will increase your inertia, and if you do the right qigong, it can increase your momentum as well. And also have, I'm going to call it a spinal reflex, because as you know, the bladder and the kidney meridians are very close to the spine, spinal cord, nervous system. Bang, we know this is sweet, we know this is faster, we know this hurts and goes in. So initially we'll work with a single hip, so we fire this hip, bang, then we've got that. I'm not going to use a wave. I don't think it's practical and I don't think it helps. You shouldn't need it unless you want to go through and out that door where the guy is. So if you're trying to do all this through stuff, that's your kettle of fish. I'm not looking at that today. So this hip looks like it's doing the business, and I've been to many seminars with many different instructors that say it's mechanics. It could be. I doubt it. Mine has got nothing to do with mechanics whatsoever. If you want to play mechanics, go play. And then we'll get together and hit each other and see what works. Fire this hip. Bang. So it looks like this is doing the business because this is the arm I'm going to be hitting with. But initially it's the opposite hip. The whole body is turning over the head of the femur. So this side is generating the energy for the bladder and kidney meridians. Bang. Now this foot was also moved from there to there. So that has moved in. So both have moved in. So if I go from this position and turn the feet in, that's what's happened in the hip joint. In this medium to generate the energy for inertia, speed and power. Also, if you generate the water element, run the meridians, it will disrupt your opponent. This particular one will disrupt the spleen, then the nervous system, weakening effect, this goes in. So you can do it with this big motion. Bang. You need to wait a nanosecond or two before this goes. It's not the same. You don't go like that. You could do, and it'd work quite fine. But if you go 1, 2, now you've got the speed and power generated and the timing. So it's a 1, 2. So you try and put a wave in there and it ain't going to go like that. If you want to make a big one, put a wave in and move a crowd of people, that's fine. Okay, still too big, not very practical. It's going to work. And obviously, we all know there's more than one in a fight. So you might just smack somebody that's got his back to you, that's hammering the Jesus out of your mate. Flying sidekicks work in fights, because you're not aiming at the guy that's looking at you. You're going to hit somebody else that's not looking. So they work. I've done them. So shorten it. Front foot turns in. So that's this swinging hip done. Back foot, turn it onto the ball of the foot. We get an energy from the foot position as well. This leg has turned in. So we've got the same thing as doing that, as doing that. So I've used less room. So I've dropped a little bit. So it's this. I'm getting hit anybody with that, but I can feel straight away it's going to work. I know I'm rooted, so what's the difference? Disruption. It's if you've got the bladder and kidney meridians firing, disruption's there. So you don't need to do all of that when you can go boom, turn that, hit with that. So we want to make it even smaller. So you could just go in, hit. So you just drop it into a little horse stance, so you just turn the feet in. It'll work fine. A little bit of a stance might help, but if you look at the stance I'm in, all that's going to be is a shock absorber in case I'm hit. It's not going to help me be stable. That's from the energy in the bladder and kidney meridians. Two ways of looking how your inertia is increased, or your momentum if you get it right. And that is, energy is now spinning. So it's an energetic gyroscope. Used that theory for years, very nice theory. New one is you're generating an energy field. And I like this one much more because we can now use a similar theory to actually make yourself lighter than you are normally. So you can do more push-ups, you can run further, etc. So we've got this energy field. If somebody hasn't got that, it's like they're pushing you with one less dimension. Or I'm in a big sea of treacle, so you can't move me. Energy fields, very important for disruption, health, healing and longevity. So, if we have got this natural hara, this chi belly, which everybody should have, because I don't know anybody that can't, after a few tries of flicking the hip, not that that's a natural movement, except for people like Elvis, they can get it within one class at least, and you can push them and they'll be rooted, they'll be heavier. So there's enough there in everybody I've ever come across so far. If you do the Qigong, you can make it stronger. So now, to test it even smaller, is get yourself a partner, stand nice like that, give him a shove, and if he's not rooting on purpose, he's going to wobble. Now, to generate the energy, we're going to use the hands and not the hips. Same energy field. So we'll put one hand on top, and I'll do this slowly so you can see, and rub them, spin them so they point down. I've tried this with one person, it works a treat. So, give them a shove, and a solid. So that's enough to root you. If it's the same root, which it is, it will disrupt your opponent. So you can do that, which I've yet to hit somebody with. So now from here we've got like a Wing Chun punch. Because you don't want to be messing around going from the side. So it's 1, 2, no stance. So you can test it with your training partner with a pad, no stance. You've got no stance. And you can just punch. And Newton's third law says you both move. Opposite and equal reactions. And then See if he moves and you don't. So, some fun with that. There's another one. Oh yeah. Oh, we won't mention that. That's enough to play with. Thank you very much.